Please stand for our invocation led by Reverend Leroy Lampkin, Berean Baptist Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence following the pledge.
Good morning. I bring you greetings from Berean Baptist Church. Let us pray. Gracious and merciful Father, we are truly grateful for this opportunity to serve the greater community of Mobile. And Father, we just ask this morning that you would give us your wisdom and your discernment, that, Father, that you would endow us with the spirit of peace, joy, patience, perseverance, brotherly love, and kindness, Lord. And that, Father, that we would yield our prides to what is best for our community, what is best for our citizenry. Father, we ask that you would grant your mercy and your grace upon these who serve you, those on the city council, those on the city administrators, and those who work diligently to keep our community safe. Father, we just thank you so much for your mercy, for your love, and your grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask everyone to please remain standing.
If you would today, we want to remember a gentleman who is very well known in our community, Mr. Bernie Malcove, who died recently and was buried on Monday. Bernie moved to Mobile in 1963, and he opened his own Gulf States Beauty Supply Company, and he sold it in 1977, went on to begin developing commercial properties from there. Bernie was extremely active in our community. One of the things that he did that most people know him for is his involvement in the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, where he served on the board of local chapter, and then also the Cody Road Boys and Girls Club was named in his honor recently. He was also one of our many Mobilians of the Year, so Bernie was just well loved, well known in the community. He also was the husband of Barbara Malcove, who many of you know because she was our finance director for many years under the Dow and Jones administration. So if you would today, just a moment of silent prayer for Bernie's family. Thank you.
Roll call. President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory. Here. Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And at this time, I ask if anyone has any type of electronic device, such as a cell phone, please put it on the off or the vibrate position. The off or the vibrate position at this time. Also, if anyone person desiring to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, the ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must state his or her name and address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. on the Thursday prior to council meeting. The subject he or she wishes to address must be identified and pertain to the city of Mobile business. Any person who has not given proper notice to the clerk office and wishes to speak on a non-agenda item would not be allowed to address the council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address the council. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 2 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. The second bell indicates the time has expired. When addressing the council, there is not to be no personal address to any individual council members. All statements are to be made to the chair, who will recognize any council member who desire to respond. Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes of November 9th.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Communications from the mayor.
Good morning. It's great to see everybody here this morning. We appreciate you coming. First, I would like to do is introduce a group of young men who are part of Scout Troop 147. The scout leader is Andrew Passmore. So, Scout Leader Passmore, would you mind just having them stand up and so we can give them a round of applause? They and their parents, or some of the parents are here, and I tell you, I think from a community standpoint, we are tremendously grateful for scouting and for those leaders who are trying to instill in them the attributes of character, which are so important to the betterment of our society. So good luck to all of you scouts, and thank you to the parents and the leader. Thank you very much. At this time, I would ask Audrey Hill, David Lauder, and Mark Hoyt and Tony Ebright to please come to the meet me at the podium.
No, sir.
So last week, and the week before, you heard us talking about Ignatius, the dog who had been lost for 3 weeks down in the manhole, and of how 3 of our animal services employees found Ignatius, and through some tenacity and perseverance, they were finally able to reunite Ignatius with his owners. That reflected so positively upon the city, but also so positively upon a department of the city that has really struggled in the last decade. And 2 of the employees were relatively new. One, matter of fact, the 3 that work for animal services are really new employees. And so I've chosen to recognize them with the Mayor's Award of Excellence, which is a medallion. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to present each one of them the medallion, and then I'll ask them if any of the 3, and then I'll come back to Tony last, because I'll speak to him, more about him in just a moment. But I would love for one of y'all to make a few remarks if you would like to, okay? So first off, I want to congratulate you and thank you for what you did. And I know that all of the people that have cats and dogs our other pets are certainly grateful for what you did. So the best way for me to put this on your head, so I don't knock your glasses off and yours, is if you bow your head, I can put it on without pulling it up your nose, okay? All right? Yep, here we go. There we go. Very good. Come around just a minute and take a picture. And Mark.
Yes, sir.
So Ignatius did not bite you or anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Hurt on the job?
No, sir.
Good. Okay. So, but like the 3 of them first to turn around and let's take a picture, and then Tony, I'll get to you in just a moment. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
So Tony, if you'll come join me. For the new city councilors, you may not know Tony Ebright, but it won't be long before you do. Anything that goes on in the city having to do with drainage, manholes, open ditches, Tony is there trying to make sure that we've got photographs of it, that we've got full knowledge of whenever a hole has been opened up, so that going forward, our engineering department will know what we've put underground. But when they found the dog, they knew they had to eventually get to Tony because he knows about all the drainage system. So after hours, Tony was called, and obviously he's on call all the time to to address any situation we have. So Tony, in presenting you this medal for exceptional performance, it's just not about just Ignatius. It's about every single thing that you do for the city day in and day out, and we certainly appreciate it. So congratulations and thank you. Tony, me and you first. Let me get the picture. All right. Y'all gonna go that way or going up? Because you've got to go this way, don't you? That way? All right. Go ahead. I've got one more, but y'all go ahead. Tony? Tony. Okay, so this next award, someone that's been very, very instrumental in the transition from the animal department, animal shelter, to animal services, even though this is not her responsibility, her area of responsibility. Each of you know that she's responsible for the Tiger Grant on Broad Street. But Jen Green, to say that she went above and beyond the call of duty to assist in the formation of this new department and the transition of it is an understatement. But she has put her heart and soul into trying to make sure that we get it right. And she's been working with Captain Snowden, and I know, and I believe, let me put it this way, I believe that within 18 months to 2 years, you'll be reading about animal services being one of the models for the nation of how a department can be run. And so, Jen, I would ask you to please come forward and I'll present you with this medal. Congratulations. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Well done. So in her spare time, she's responsible for making sure that Broad Street is ready for Mardi Gras. Right, Jim? Thank you. So I have two proclamations, and because of the interest of time, I'm not going to read them in their entirety, but I would ask, this proclamation is for the National Adoption Month, and I'd ask Stephanie Streeter, Juanita Spinks, Susan Haggerty, is Leda here? Okay, Leda. Yeah. If y'all all could come down. And Kristen Kuza. Did I say that right? Yes? All right. If y'all come down, please. Jim, now I know what you Okay. And the proclamation reads, the City of Mobile recognizes the importance of providing children with permanent, safe, and loving families through adoption. And whereas approximately 6,000 children are currently in the care or custody of the Alabama Department of Human Resources, including 500 children in Mobile County, and whereas more than 70% of Alabama's children who enter foster care return to their biological families, and whereas the City of Mobile recognizes the diligence and hard work that adoption professionals demonstrate every day while identifying forever families for children in foster care, and whereas Mobile acknowledges the agencies and community organizations that partner together for this important cause, including the Mobile County Department of Human Resources, Fostering Hope, Adoption Rocks, Alabama Pre-Post Adoption Connections, and the Children's Aid of Society. And whereas it's important to raise awareness about Alabama's foster children and their need for permanent loving families, now therefore I, William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby formally recognize the month of November as National Adoption Month. Congratulations.
Good morning. I'm Stephanie Streeter, the County Director for the Mobile County Department of Human Resources. National Adoption Month is a special time to celebrate and acknowledge the importance of how every child deserves to grow up with a safe and loving family with the care and support of their community. The Alabama Department of Human Resources finalized 783 adoptions in fiscal year 2021, including 30 adoptions in Mobile County. We have all heard the term, "it takes a village." We're so thankful for the community members of foster and adoptive parents in Mobile County who open their hearts and their homes to provide a forever home filled with opportunities for a bright, positive future for our children. A special thanks, as Mayor Stimson mentioned, with Commissioner Nancy T. Buckner, our Board of Directors, the Probate Court Judge Don Davis, our community agencies of Foster and Hope, Heart Gallery, APAC, which is Alabama Pre-Post Adoption Connections, Children's Aid Society, and Adoption Rocks. And a special thank you to the hard-working Mobile County DHR staff, not just the ones that are with us today, and the wonderful foster adoptive parents who are making a difference in the lives of children in our local community, and we thank them enough. We can't thank them enough during this holiday season of Thanksgiving, during National Adoption Month, and throughout the year for all that they do each day. And as Mayor Stimson says, we are not done yet. There's a need for more foster adoptive parents who can provide permanent, loving families for foster children in Mobile County. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
one
Jones.
statement. I would just like to say thank you, Ms. Streeter, and your entire organization for what you do. I sit here today because of an adoptive parent, and there's no doubt in my mind that the successes I've had in my career and in my life is because of services like yours as well as the adoptive parent. So thank you.
Thank you.
So would the staff please stand, be recognized? And across the front. Thank you. And this is yours. Okay, but this time I would ask Stephanie Rogers, April Myers, Mackenzie Lee, and Jody O'Brien to please join me for a proclamation about National Home Care and Hospice Month. Two on that side, two on that side. Thank you all for being here today. And the proclamation reads, whereas home care services provide high quality and compassionate health care services to more than 5 million Americans annually, and whereas home care is the preferred method of health care delivery among the disabled, the elderly, and the chronically ill, and whereas home care in the U.S. is a growing alternative to hospitalization or other institution-based forms of health care for acute and chronic illness, providing care to millions of Americans each year, and whereas 2 million everyday heroes, including home care nurses, therapists, and aides, travel almost 1 billion miles to deliver care and work tirelessly to provide professional support to millions of Americans in need of quality health care services, and whereas the LHC Group, Infirmary Home Care, the National Association for Home Care and Hospice, and thousands of home care agencies across the U.S. have declared the month of November as National Home Care and Hospice Month and are calling on all Americans to observe these occasions with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Now, therefore, I, William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby formally recognize November as National Home Care and Hospice Month in the City of Mobile. Congratulations. Let's turn around real quick and we'll get a picture. Hold that.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is April Myers, and I'm the Clinical Director for Infirmary Home Care in Mobile. We would just like to thank the Mayor and the City Council for having us. We employ nurses, therapists, home health aides. Home care is very important. We provide that continuity of care after patients get out of the hospital. And here in Mobile, we strive to provide the best patient, good quality care that we can. And we would just like to thank you for recognizing this month. Can't say that it hasn't been difficult for any healthcare providers in the hospital, out of the hospital, doctors' offices, clinics, wherever during the pandemic. But we definitely appreciate everyone's continued support during this time. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your hard work. You all hard work. Thank you.
So 2 short announcements. One has to do with tomorrow we'll have the groundbreaking, Friday we'll have the groundbreaking at 10:30 a.m. On Owens Street for the Mobile Fire Rescue Department training facility. All of the city council is welcome to be there. We look forward to that. It's to be a state-of-the-art training facility for the fire rescue, which we're glad to be part of and be able to provide. Also, there'll be a ribbon cutting on Baltimore Street this Friday at 2:00 p.m.
Praise the Lord.
There we go. I knew there'd be one of y'all that would be really happy. There are people on Baltimore Street that never thought they would live to see Baltimore Street completely rebuilt, from the drainage and everything under the street to the sidewalks. This is complete streets, and so we're very, very excited for District 3. And Councilman Small. So we'll look forward to seeing each of you there. And as I said, Council President, I'll have a meeting off-site at 12, so I'll be leaving a little early. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Gregory.
since the mayor has already recognized a couple of our employees, I just want to add a couple of things for Tony Ebright in particular, because I have his cell phone, he has mine, and he is, just like the mayor said, when something is happening with drainage, ditches, you name it, Tony is there, and he provides his expertise. He calls constituents and explains to them what's going on, but he doesn't just call them, he goes to the site and works with them and helps explain exactly what's going on with each issue. So Tony, thank you very much for everything you do, for your diligence. I mean, you help make my job much easier, so thank you. And I cannot let an opportunity pass to thank Jen Green. Who knew she was pulling this double duty? I did not know that, so thank you. I mean, Jen does so much for our city, involved in so many different big projects. And she, of course, is also the mother to Oscar, who is the best boy, if you all remember that campaign last year. So thank you, Jen, for all that you were doing, and all of our employees. I mean, saving the dog in the drainage ditch, I mean, that is wonderful. What a great story to tell. I mean, I'm sure people like me who are very sensitive to what is happening with our dogs and cats and all of our pets just had tears in their eyes reading what you all were able to do. So thank you so much. And keep up the good work. We love it.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Clerk?
Appeals, we have requests for a waive the noise ordinance on December the 18th on River Forest Road from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. and Cooper Riverside Park on November 27th from 12 p.m. until 6:30.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Today is the appeal of Keith Nisley regarding the ARB's denial of his application to install vinyl windows at 415 Flint Street.
Motion to lay over until 7 December.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. We have representatives from Events Mobile.
As Events Mobile come down, we're going to turn the
Yeah.
microphone over to Ms. Gregory.
Yeah, as you all come down, I would like to introduce some students who are here with us today from Faith Academy. If you all will stand, we have Sam Ward, Jeremy Carter, and Maya Leonard. And you all are here because of a class project. So you're here watching government in action. I guess you have to go back and prepare some sort of a report to your class. Okay, well, very good. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your interest.
Good morning, I'm Judy Gullidge. I'm a co-chair for the Moon Pie Over Mobile celebration, and we are going to celebrate New Year's Eve this year and usher in 2022. And we're going to do that in a form and fashion that we've become accustomed to in our city. And we've got great plans for the evening. The committee has been hard at work. We're going to start off the evening with our resolution wall. Then that's going to be over by Bienville Square on the corner, and then you can head on down to the Renaissance Riverview, where we're going to have the Port City Second Liners along with the Bay City Brass Jukebox Band, and they're going to be providing entertainment, and that's where we're going to prepare to cut the world's largest edible moon pie. Now, if you haven't joined in and had a taste of that, you need to come on down. And as soon as we get that moon pie cut, then we're going to lead that jubilant crowd right down Broad Street, turn onto St. Francis, and head down to our main stage, which is just north of Bienville Square, right there on St. Francis Street, where we're going to have music for the rest of the evening, and we're going to culminate that celebration with our laser light show and then fireworks from 2 locations. And we could not do any of this, of course, without the support of our sponsors, which, of course, City of Mobile, Mobile County, RSA Retirement Systems of Alabama, and the Chattanooga Moon Pie Bakery, along with others. So we thank our sponsors. And now I know you're all very excited to hear who we are going to have for our entertainment for that evening. And so I am going to turn this over to our biggest cheerleader, our honorary chairman, Mr. Fred Richardson, who is going to make that announcement for us today.
Yeah, Judy, we were all wondering who that distinguished gentleman was behind you.
Well, it's too early. I wasn't trying to get it now.
3 minutes, Fred, and the clock's ticking.
I know the clock is on. To Mayor Stimson, the department heads, Council President Small, Council Vice President Gregory, all council members, all present, and all connected to us by way of remote technology. Good morning.
Morning.
It seems like I have been here before. COVID-19 stopped us in our tracks in 2021, but not in 2022. I rise to announce to you today that to ring in 2022, we are bringing in the funk with Trombone Shorty and Orleans Avenue to electrify you. This band is part Jimi Hendrix, part James Brown, all New Orleans. Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews is the band leader, and this hard-edged funk band that employs brass band beats, rock dynamics, and improvisations jazz. He has played at concert festivals in Cuba and in Europe. He has played in Vienna Jazz Festival, North Sea Jazz Festival, and Istanbul Jazz Festival. Nominated for a Grammy in 2011, Trombone Shorty's greatest musical skills and high-energy live shows has drawn unanimous raves worldwide, with the Rolling Stones calling him a must-see act. So please plan now to join us as we roll out 2021 and roll in the New Year's Mardi Gras style. Mobile will be the hottest city in the Central Time Zone. So you might want to say, why would Mobile be the hottest city in the Central Time Zone, because we're the only city in the Central Time Zone that was born to celebrate. And that's exactly what we're going to do on New Year's Eve night, and we ask you to join us. And now I have, I hope my event, my thing is working here, but I want to play you some trombone shorty. And it went out on me. Hold up 1 second. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it. Here we go. It's trombone shorty. New Orleans, this is New Orleans style. This is Mardi Gras style. He is going to rock the house. And this is from his latest album, Parking Lot Symphony. His latest hit, Here Come the Girls.
I said, look out, brother, let me get further, a little close to the one I love.
You get the point. Here comes the girl.
I would like to say congratulations to Mr. Richardson. About a month ago, the council had passed a resolution to honor Mr. Richardson because he is the grandfather of the moon pie drop. And then we sent a resolution over asking them events, to honor him. And they did name Mr. Richardson honorary chairman over that events. Congratulations, Mr. Richardson, to you. Also, I would like to say to this group, for the past several years, I have asked, from this dais to go ahead and, start talking about the moon pie drop earlier and start talking about the artists. I know for the past 2 or 3 years I've been asking, from here. The reason why is because people start making New Year's plans back in July. I started seeing advertisement, in Vegas, advertising Bruno Mars back in July for New Year's Eve. And if we telling people we got 6 weeks and 2 days before New Year's Eve, that's not enough time. Especially how much money that the city is, spending. Yes, we may fill the hotels downtown beds up, but we still got hotels in Tillman Corner, Airport Boulevard, Service Road, and et cetera. Again, I'm asking you all to please take into consideration in announcing the headliner earlier next year. We learned in Charleston this past week, one of the mayors has stated, running a city is a business. And if you don't advertise, you're not going to get no business. And we wait until the last minute to advertise what we have. We're not going to draw the people that we can draw into Mobile. And one of the things that we do fail at as a city is that we don't tell our story enough. We don't advertise what we have. We don't wag our tails enough. I always heard it's a sad dog that don't wag his own tail. But again, I will be asking you all next year, please, I'm begging, to please start announcing the moon pie drop, the headliners earlier, and do some advertisement with it where we can draw more people into our great city to enjoy the kickoff of Mardi Gras. All right.
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
Councilman Richardson, you definitely sold me. I'm excited about being there at the moon pie drop. But I also want to encourage every citizen to help with marketing as well. We have to speak highly of our city. When we talk about our city, sometimes we like, oh, it's nothing to do in Mobile, and that's a lie. We have great things taking place in Mobile, and so as citizens, we got to talk about the things like the moon pie drop, like the Senior Bowl, like Gulf Coast Challenge. We got to start talking about it. We have to be ambassadors for our city. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing and the staff, and I look forward to the moon pie drop on New Year's Eve.
Mr. Richardson, you had stated that the moon pie drop would be the hottest place, in the Central Time Zone. I believe we start advertising earlier, it would be the blazing place in the Central Time Zone, if not in this country. All right. Thank you.
Reggie Hill.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Even hope may seem but futile when with troubles you're beset. But remember, you are facing just what other men have met. You may fail, but fall still fighting. Don't give up, whatever you do. Eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through, by Edgar A. Guest. Omega Man. Citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, good morning. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. Always a pleasure to see Mr. Richardson in the chambers as he's leaving out. I've actually performed with Trombone Shorter before, so I know he's a great act, so it's good that he's coming to the city of Mobile. I rise today to discuss these matters pertaining to Chapter 38 of the Mobile Municipal Code. In 1878, U.S. Representative Jeremiah Harrelson of Selma, Alabama, a man of color, raised the idea that abnormal irregularities persisted in the course of proceedings for the 46th Congress to the United States of America. His argument insisted that thousands of accounts for citizens were dissolved for no apparent reason. History goes on to tell us that even when Representative Harrison was able to procure a judge to entertain his affidavits, witnesses were jailed or killed, and the government attempted to have the U.S. representative in prison under false charges. Oversight of land, property, and person requires a respect of inalienable rights, which is provided from a source far more abundant than any cause or result of course, concern, control, and often rendered through crusades and actions of greed, facilitation of civic destruction. My prayer daily is that the hand of God in heaven be upon the city of Mobile as we navigate through these turbulent waters of human endeavor. Now, in spite of popular belief, I recognize that the local government is the most important of the functioning bodies, and this supersedes state and federal politics. Chapter 38 of the Mobile Municipal Code for newcomers. This is the section that deals directly with the Mobile Municipal Court. Right here, I'm holding the most recent communication that I've received from Mobile Municipal Court in reference to a case that is still on the docket from 2018, open illegal traffic citation for a law that does not exist. Why is this important? As we're considering who is going to be on the bench, how much money we're putting into this, we need to understand the impact and influence that this has on the citizenry. We need to know how our communities are affected by overcrowding, as well as the overwhelming volume of cases that we see on the dockets. And I believe that while the money issue is important and it's something that can bring in people, we have to unlayer all of the stuff that is causing as much turmoil as we're seeing in the city. So until we're able to have everyone at the table understanding what's really happening with the law, I don't see us moving forward with this, and we only need the best for our city. Thanks for yielding the floor.
Happy Founders Day, Mr. Hill.
Okay. 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 Yeah, we had one more presentation. It's okay. Okay.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I am Joyce Reed with the local Azalea City Quilters Guild and the National Quilts of Valor Foundation, and our local chapter, Quilts of Valor Stars Over Mobile. Our Quilts of Valor Foundation is now a national organization of over 10,000 quilters that was founded in 2003 by Blue Star mom, Catherine Roberts of Seaford, Delaware. Her son was a gunner in Iraq sitting atop a Humvee. She felt 10 seconds away from panic 24/7. But one night, Catherine had a dream of a post-deployment warrior struggling with his war demons at 2 o'clock in the morning. And according to Catherine, that dream was as vivid as real life. She saw a young man sitting on the side of his bed in the middle of the night, hunched over. The permeating feeling she saw was one of utter despair. She could see his war demons clustered around, dragging him down into an emotional gutter. Then, as if viewing a movie, she saw him in the next scene and he was wrapped in a quilt. His whole demeanor changed from one of despair to one of hope and well-being. The quilt had made this dramatic change, and the message of her dream was that quilts equal healing. Her son Nathaniel's year-long deployment to Iraq provided the initial inspiration, and her desire to see that returning warriors were welcomed home with love and gratitude they deserve provided her with the rest. She made one quilt, and it was so well received that she and her friends decided to send 100 quilts and see what would happen. But then, when the 100 quilts were done 3 years later, they realized that this couldn't stop with just 100 quilts. There were too many thousands of veterans out there who needed to be comforted by the quilts. So 18 years later, the Quilts of Valor Foundation is at 2,415 quilts last month, 20,918 year-to-date this year. Thanks to COVID, it would be a lot larger if it weren't. And 286,178 so far from our 10 to 11,000 volunteers nationwide. Our mission is to cover all combat service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor, to say thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your valor. A vet from Iraq and Afghanistan said, "You need to understand what my quilt of valor means to me. Before I received my quilt of valor, I had nightmares most every night, and I had to take meds to sleep. And of course, like the rest of us, less meds the better." He said, "I received my quilt of valor and started sleeping with it. I no longer have nightmares. I no longer have to take meds to sleep. So what you do matters a lot." Another vet said, "It's the first time since I left Vietnam that anyone said thank you and that they appreciated what I had done." Another story tells us of Larry, a husband who was privileged to receive his quilt. He said in his early 50s, and he wondered why, when there were other veterans who were much older who still hadn't been thanked for their service, should he get his. But he gladly accepted it and knew the work that went into it. But the timing of his presentation was providential, because just 1 month later he was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer. He very much appreciated his Quilts of Valor and the warmth it provided as he went through his chemo treatments. He kept it on his recliner and used it every day. In 2018, though, later that year, the doctors took him off of chemo as it was having no effect. And the following month he went home to hospice care. Even during this time, his quilt provided him with warmth. And on the 19th of December, his wife says Larry left us and went to heaven. But when the personnel from the funeral home came to take him, per their protocol, they covered him in that white sterile sheet. And she wasn't having that. That was not very personal. She said she couldn't see her husband of 31 years leaving the home stripped down to nothing but a cold, sterile white sheet. She insisted they cover him with his Quilts of Valor. It gave her great comfort to see him leave their home covered in the Quilts of Valor, made by the stitches of many, many people. And so instead of our leaving our home cold and alone, he left covered with gratitude and love of many quilters around the world. So thank you all for investing in our veterans. Your quilts are such a beautiful picture of your mission, and I continue to be warmed by the quilt that was Larry's. An Iraq combat veteran says, "I cannot express how much I love my quilt at this very moment. I don't know who made my quilt exactly, but it has provided so much comfort with the current events going on in Afghanistan. I've not been in a good place since the fall 2 months ago. My heart is broken for the family members who lost a loved one. I don't know any of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice that day, but they were my brothers. I will continue to pray for everyone affected by these events, especially the loved ones who lost their service member. So thank you so much to the ones who make these quilts. I'm feeling every ounce of love and support that went into every stitch of my quilt. You're amazing people. I just cannot thank you enough." And those are some of the stories we get from the various ones we've given quilts to, mostly here in Mobile. But nationwide, we've given one from Mobile to Gavin McElvena, who was the president of the National Honor Society of the Tomb of the Unknowns. We've given one to Pete Hegseth, who you'll see on Fox News on the weekend in the mornings. We've given one to Mark Geist, who almost lost his arm in Benghazi. And we've given one to the commander of the Disabled American Veterans, Dave Heflin, who was from here, who was a quadriplegic, quad amputee. And others that we are preparing to give to. I've gotten a call that they need quilts for all of those injured that day in Afghanistan. So we will send 1 or 2 quilts to help cover all of the veterans who were injured that day. But today we have 2 we'd like to honor from Mobile, and I understand one is probably still on the road and hadn't gotten here. So we will award that one later to Jennifer. But today, just returning from Guantanamo Bay and his service there in the Coast Guard is Torrance Batiste. We'd like to wrap in his Quilts of Valor today and tell him thank you for his service. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Well, why won't you all let Cassandra take your picture and y'all take a picture with Officer Batiste? Yeah, together. Yeah, yeah. Give her. Yeah. And I think our executive director of public safety knows this individual. Yeah. His son. Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you again.
And also, one of our colleagues received his Quilt of Valor, was it last week, Scott? So Scott Jones received his quilt.
Yeah, congratulations
as well.
To you, sir. Okay. Madam Clerk.
Ordinance is held over. 64035, rezone property located at 1490 Telegraph Road from R1 to I2.
Move to lay over until 7 December.
Second.
Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
38038, ordinance to amend and restate section 38-41B and section 38-50 of the Mobile City Code regarding the appointment of municipal court judges.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second in the discussion.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, I have an amendment to offer.
Yes, Mr. Davis.
I would like to move to amend the proposed ordinance to implement the additional judge changes proposed in the committee meeting.
Second.
Been properly moved and second in the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes.
Back to the original.
We're going back to the original.
As amended. As amended.
As amended. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
Consent resolutions held over. 4986, declare the structure at 1162 Congress Street a public nuisance and order it demolished.
Motion to lay over an additional 2 weeks. And let me just talk to that just a second.
Let's get to the discussion first.
Second.
Okay. Properly moved and second in the discussion. Mr. Carroll.
I have the ability and the time to go by the property, go inside the property, review it. The home is in very, very good shape. The rear of the home had a tree fall through what was an addition or looks like maybe an enclosed porch or back end of it at some point some time ago. It appears as if the owner would only take the back end of the porch off of the property, that the house would be in very good standing. I've reached out to the family. It is heir property, which has, it's hard to communicate with everybody. So I want to give them a little bit of time to save their own home, and at the same time continue to see if we can find a resource to help them restore and revitalize that neighborhood. If we are not able to find a consensus within the allotted time by law, then we'll move forward with the demolition of the property.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Resolutions held over. 03584 and 585 are reappointing Carlos Finley and Robert Adams Thomas as part-time judges of the Mobile Municipal Court.
Move to table.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. Just briefly, just so that everybody understands, these two judges will continue serving. The reason we are doing this is because we are, as you have already heard, changing the pay scale. We are giving our judges raises, and we are also appointing a third part-time judge. So we are extending the application process until December 1st to turn in resumes. After that, we will hold interviews and hope to get some new judges appointed maybe by the end of the year. We'll shoot for that. But in the meantime, these two judges continue serving.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
08-1007, 1008, approving purchase orders to Insight Public Sector for 65 repurposed computers, and for purchase order to Vector Solutions for annual training and equipment management software and services. 08-1009, approved purchase order to Knox Associates for Key Secure 6 key boxes for the Fire and Rescue Department. 08-1010, approve item-based bid for unleaded fuel and diesel fuel. 08-1011, approve purchase order to Jacobs Technology for cyber network analysis upgrades. 08-1012, approve purchase order to Petroleum Traders Corp. for the Wave Transit. 21-1013, authorized contract with Pension Technology Group for software services for police and firefighters retirement plan. 21-1014, authorized contract with Dell Consulting for railway corridor sprinkler piping at the Arthur R. Outlaw Convention Center. 31, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take that one separately. 1016, approved settlement agreement and release of claims. And 21-1019, authorized 2 non-exclusive contracts with Tetra Tech Inc. for Thompson Consulting Services to provide on-request post-disaster debris removal, monitoring, and consulting services.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, and we'll go back to 31-1015, update the American Rescue Plan for tourism assistance.
Move to table.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Mr.
Yeah.
Williams?
Yeah. Just so that the public know that these funds that were in this slide item are from ARPA, and there were several questions as to the amounts requested by different groups and the amounts allotted, and also a possibility of increase to maybe a group or two, and also just a request for line item and clarity on another section of that, which goes to Visit Mobile. Look forward to seeing these funds spent in our tourism industry, in helping our city promote itself going forward. But I think just a week or so, or however long it takes for us to get it back after we have some clarity, would be a good thing.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, one question for the administration. What's the timeline with having these RFPs back in?
Are you talking about the ones for tourism?
The ones on 31, 10, 15 that we're tabling.
So no, those are, we've got them in. It's just a matter of giving them to you all. We don't need much time at all. Maybe a couple of weeks at the most. The real problem is, as we discussed in pre-council, being able to have you all talk to the people at LAD and have those conversations.
Yeah. The question is there a deadline when we have to have these RFPs submitted?
No, they've already been submitted. So
they've already been. Okay.
Yeah, there's no deadline that we're dealing with right here, right now.
Okay, thank you.
Just one more thing. I think the question may have been, when does it come back to us on the agenda is what we're looking for, right?
No, he answered the question.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Table.
60-1017, resolution fixing the salaries of full-time and part-time municipal court judges.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Days.
I'd like to move to amend the proposed resolution to implement the salary changes proposed in the Administrative Services Committee meeting.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Going back to the original. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Consent resolutions being introduced 31-1020 through 31-1026.
By council rules, these will be moved to waive the rules in order to consider 31-1020 through 03-1026.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Clerk.
31-1020, authorize a grant application to the Alabama Transportation Rehabilitation and Improvement Program for a grant, no match. 03-1026, appoint Haley Van Antwerp to the Mobile Museum of Art Board.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Resolutions being introduced 01-1021 through 21-1025.
By council rules, these will lay over for 1 week.
Announcements.
Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mr. President. What a great week in Mobile. We talk about Celebrate Mobile. We did that this last week as we had the Veterans Day Parade, the Veterans Day Luncheon. Thanks to all who had a hand in setting that up. And for everybody that supported that, thank you. What a great time to truly come out as a city and recognize the amazing veterans that we have. Saturday, we had another celebration as Austell commissioned the U.S. Navy ship Apalachicola. As I said in pre-conference, we had some heavy hitters here in Mobile. We had the Navy Judge Advocate General, who's a Vice Admiral, 3-star. We had a 2-star general. We had the Undersecretary of the Navy here to commission that ship. And Mobile put on a show, and they loved it. They loved our city. More importantly, that gives them an idea of who we are when they start looking at competitive contracts in the future. And those are coming, and we had representatives from the city there. We had representatives from other industries there, and just kudos to everybody that had a hand in that. As we got back from Charleston this last week, another opportunity for us to really see what Mobile is. And the thing that stuck out at me as we went on this trip to Charleston is that we had over 70 individuals from Mobile who have skin in the game for this city and want to see this city move forward. And when you look at what it takes to do that, these individuals represent all of those that have come together. We had the elected officials, we had other city officials, we had other non-government agencies, we had industry partners, we had private partners, and every one of these individuals want to see us move forward. So what a great opportunity as we go out and have ideas and have discussions of how we make that happen. These are the stakeholders that will help us through that. So kudos to all those that went. What a great opportunity as my colleagues and I went forward and got additional ideas to make Mobile even better than where it is today and shine it up. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Reynolds.
No announcements.
Mr. Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wasn't with you guys on the leadership trip, but I think that somewhere I read that Scott had a birthday on Monday. Happy birthday, Scott.
I stopped counting those. Thank you.
I hear you, but happy birthday to you anyway. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend Faith in Action's meeting at Stewart Memorial CME Church and the outreach to the community as it relates to gun violence and violence in our city. I think that we all need to continue to partner with that and keep that at the top of our list, because violence and gun violence continues to be an issue. Reading the paper, getting the text messages about gun violence happening this weekend at the corner of Ann and Spring Hill Avenue. We have to band together to get this under control. And we all have to do that, partnered with, everyone in the city, from the city of Mobile to the Mobile County Public School systems, and everyone, even all the way down to our kids in parks and recreation, boys and girls clubs, and everywhere else. So let's continue to do that. Let's reach out to Faith in Action, and let's all be partnered with that. On a Friday night, I met with the citizens of the Plateau community in reference to 1490 Telegraph Road. We are part of the way there and partially there as far as the rezoning goes. Today's meeting has to be rescheduled. We will send out a rescheduled date to you as quickly as we can, so that we all can get this to some resolution and have some parts resolved with that property. As soon as we do that, we will schedule a community meeting for the old Lad Supply site out in the community also, as we move forward to try to get all of those issues taken care of in our city. Also, had the opportunity to stop by and visit in the Bottom, or in the Grove, because it wasn't the Bottom. We were over in the Grove area of the Bottom this weekend with Mobile Baykeeper to help clean up litter, protect our waterways. We all know that anything that we enter into the water drainage system in the downtown community winds up in 1 Mile Creek and then out into 3 Mile Creek and into our bay and waterways. Let's continue to remember that we have to continue to pick up trash, not throw stuff out the windows. Litter is a big issue, and we need to make sure that we police ourselves with that. Also attended the diabetic walk this weekend along with Councilmember Penn, and congratulations to you guys out there in supporting diabetes and bringing awareness to our city.
All right, Mr. Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Like Councilman Carroll said, we had a great event at Fred Richardson Tricentennial Park, located in District 1. The Diabetes Walk. Ayla Goosen did an amazing job. This was their first, so we look forward to many more located in District 1. I also had the opportunity to go to Faith Action and was able to listen and hear the concerns. And that's what we have to do. We have to listen, learn, and then we leverage our resources to create change in our community. On last night, we had the opportunity, Councilman, we've been spending a lot of time together. Councilman Carroll was there again in District 1, where we had the opportunity to speak to the Omega Lamplighters, a great organization here right in Mobile, talking about crime. And recently, just like in his district, in my district, we had a shooting off Stanton Road. And so we have to work together with building those relationships to get the crime down. So, but I look forward to doing that, and I'm excited. Also, December 8th, we will have our Christmas District 1 event at Kiwanis Boys and Girls Club at 6 o'clock.
All right. Mr. Days.
No announcements.
Ms. Gregory.
Thank you. Just one announcement. My annual Christmas party is coming up December 7th. It is our district get-together at the Mobile Museum of Art. We will begin at 6 o'clock. And again, we Bill, we will be recognizing our public safety workers, public works employees, among others, including our homeowners association, community action group members, and other community organizations within the district. And we bring gifts of needed items for the residents of Wilmer Hall. So again, this will be December 7th at the Mobile Museum of Art. And postcards will be going out soon because, you know, December is getting pretty close here. And a lot of different things will be going on everybody's calendars. So we want everyone to plan ahead. December 7th, 6 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. President.
And the greetings to the citizens of District 3. I know for the last couple of weeks I have been announcing that I had some big announcements coming up. And on December the 11th, 2021, we will be having a day in District 3 on DIP. And this will start approximately at 9 o'clock a.m. Revitalize DIP is sponsoring a day for the citizens along the DIP corridor, which I'm inviting the rest of the district to come out. We're going to meet up at the Guffdale subdivision, and there will be plenty of music, fun, and food, including a car show. The health department has also committed for being there, and that will start at 9 o'clock a.m. on December the 11th. Phone's been ringing probably for the past 6 months, you know, asking, you know, is there going to be a Christmas parade this year? Is there going to be a Christmas parade this year? My response back to them is we have to see, you know, what the numbers of COVID is looking like. So it look like that we'll be pretty good. So we are also scheduling the parade to come down DIP at 2 o'clock p.m. starting at BC Rain High School and disbanding at Pillins Middle School. So get the word out. We will be sending out postcards. We also will be playing this through different media outlet. And again, this will all take place on December the 11th, a day in District 3 on DIP. Also, as the mayor had mentioned earlier, my heart, my soul has been on really focusing on, you know, really one particular street, which is Baltimore Street. When the penny was about to sunset, you know, approximately 7-8 years ago, you know, I never forget how I leaned over, you know, to Councilman Williams and at the time and say, hey, what about, you know, taking this money, you know, this extra 1 cent and put it towards, you know, infrastructure projects. And at that particular time, my mind was on one thing, and that was Baltimore Street. I even had a resident to come down at that particular time and stated how important, you know, extending that penny to go towards capital projects would be. And she was a resident of Baltimore Street, even though we had completed Ann Street first, or started on Ann Street first, you know, but Baltimore Street has always been my heart. And I'm very excited about this coming Friday at 2 o'clock p.m. in front of Taylor Park, and inviting all the citizens of, you know, Oakdale community to please come out for this great celebration. And as the mayor stated, you know, many residents have stated, you know, Baltimore Street would never get paved, it would never get done, you know, we forgot about it. But look at it today. You can ride down smoothly, but we got to try to find something to slow some people down because we don't have those natural speed bumps no more. But anything else from the council? Anything from the administration? If not, can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and second in the discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is over.